Ladies and gentlemen, families and friends, a very warm welcome to Canterbury and to this degree congregation of the University of Kent, which is held in this amazing setting of Canterbury Cathedral. The ceremony will start soon, and it begins with 4 processions: the graduands, the academic staff, the honorary graduand, and the Chancellor. We'll all stand for the last procession, and I'll give you a signal so that you know when to do that. Now, this is going to be an exciting and spectacular occasion, and we want you all to have a truly wonderful experience during the ceremony and to see each and every student graduate. To make sure this happens, I would like to ask you a really big favour, that you remember all those seated around you. So please don't block each other's view by standing up, moving around, or leaving your seat to take photographs or videos with phones, cameras, or iPads. Also, could you now make sure that your phones are switched off? Finally, at the end of the ceremony, can I ask you to remain in your places until after the processions have left the cathedral? Thank you, everyone, and have a truly fantastic time.
I declare this congregation open. Distinguished guests, our honorary graduand, colleagues, and especially our graduands. Today we're awarding degrees for those who have completed academic courses at the University of Kent. I want to thank the Dean and Chapter for allowing us to use this wonderful venue of Canterbury Cathedral. It's quite simply one of the greatest buildings anywhere in the world. And I want to welcome everyone who's able to be part of our celebrations. I hope you enjoy the surroundings and this very significant day. On behalf of the University, my warmest congratulations to all of you graduating today. You don't need me to explain the significance of graduation. It represents an enormous investment of your time and energy over a sustained period, and the commencement of a new and exciting chapter in your lives. You should be rightly proud of your achievements. You've made it. Well done. Next, I want to thank all the family members, friends, and other supporters who are here to join in this celebration. Your presence helps make graduation such a special event. You will have provided support in so many ways for our graduands, for which you too deserve congratulations. Finally, I'd like to thank those members of the university staff who have supported you throughout your studies and in your broader life at the university. It is our community, the staff and the students together, that makes the University of Kent such a successful institution. As Chancellor, I'm proud to see you all here today, and there's no doubt that Kent students are amazing. Every year, we're inundated with nominations for the Kent Student Awards, a scheme that recognises the outstanding contributions students make to the Kent student experience. And every year, we hear extraordinary stories of our students' achievements. They're inspiring, and they're also humbling. This year, the Student of the Year Award recognised the contribution made to the local community, with the winner providing free legal assistance to vulnerable people. The Group Award went to the Kent Caribbean Society for running events that share and represent Caribbean culture. Here at Kent, we have a reputation for encouraging our students to think independently, and during the course of your study, you will have developed the attributes that will help shape your future. Confidence, creativity and innovation, critical thinking, global and cultural awareness, integrity and accountability, intellectual curiosity and resilience. Above all, you will have learned how to learn. Being here today means you have excelled academically, but you've also gained the knowledge, skills and understanding to enable you to move on to the next stage of your life. This is what makes Kent students so employable after graduation. Of course, it helps to have great teachers. We've some of the world's leading academics among our staff, passing on their knowledge and research skills to students. Our researchers make a difference in the world, working across disciplines to tackle some of the world's challenges, whether big or small. They will have made sure you're up to date with the latest ideas and challenged intellectually. We've been awarded a gold rating in the government's Teaching Excellence Framework, which means our teaching is of the highest quality found in the UK. We are, however, in challenging times. Both in the UK and around the world, we see political polarisation and a shifting world order. We also live in a time when facts and knowledge are themselves being challenged, not just by peddlers of fake news and disinformation, but also by those who claim that experts, people with real expertise, are somehow part of an elite or an establishment. Since I'm surrounded by people with expertise, let me put it very differently. University graduates, postgraduates, and academics may indeed be experts, but they're also citizens, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, neighbours, friends, part of our community. There is nothing elitist about celebrating facts, knowledge, and expertise, because we also celebrate what they bring: research-led developments in health and technology, science, culture, and society, which improve all our lives beyond measure. This is what universities are for. We're here to make a difference, whether it's through providing an education that will enable you to make your mark on the world, or carrying out research to benefit our society and indeed all of humankind. The University of Kent values excellence, and we support potential wherever it may be found. We're outward-looking and welcome students and staff from all parts of the UK, from Europe, and from all around the world. Together, we create a large and diverse community which celebrates equality and inclusivity. While the UK is scheduled to leave the European Union, our postgraduate centres in Europe will continue to flourish. We will develop new opportunities, including global health modules in Brussels. These centres and our partnership agreements with more than 300 universities worldwide make us a leading international university. We're also committed to our region and its economic, social and cultural development. This year, for example, we received a substantial award to support investment in creative, cultural and heritage initiatives. These will see the creation of more than 500 creative industry jobs and 60 apprenticeships in the Thames Gateway region. Next year, we'll be launching a new Institute for Creative and Cultural Industries based on new partnerships with businesses, in particular in Medway. And I'm especially excited that in 2020, in September 2020, we'll open the doors of the Kent and Medway Medical School, a joint partnership with Canterbury Christchurch University, designed to help solve the chronic shortage of medical practitioners in our region. Now, these are just two examples of a broader set of initiatives designed to ensure that what we teach prepares our students for the challenges of the 21st century. We'll also be rolling out new programs in mechanical engineering, digital design, planning, and human geography. So while we're here to celebrate your academic achievements, your memories may often be associated with what you've done outside your academic course. You will have had the opportunity to join a wide range of sporting and other clubs and societies and to take part in cultural and social activities. Your volunteering has added hugely to the wider community. University of Kent students have provided nearly 100,000 hours of voluntary work. Some of you may have taken part in our annual World Fest celebrations, which this year included a Bhangra drumming workshop and a food festival. So, graduands, I hope you're as proud of the university as we are of you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the ceremony and afterwards go on to celebrate your success with family and friends. By admitting you to your degree, it is our honour and pleasure to mark your success and to wish you well on your future path wherever it may take you. Graduation also marks another transition. You will all become alumni of this university and as such will remain part of our community. I hope you'll keep in touch with us as your lives unfold. You are part of the University of Kent's exciting journey into the future. Congratulations to all of you. I now call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities to present candidates for the award of degrees.
Most Honourable Chancellor, to you and to the whole University, I present these candidates from the Faculty of Humanities found worthy to be admitted to degrees.
By virtue of the authority committed to me, I admit all those who are about to be presented and other qualified candidates in absentia.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Chloe Jade Abel.
Thank you.
Emma Jane Abel. Brendan Michael Ahern. Abdul Rahman Awed Ahmed. Jake Harry Aldington. Natalie Olivia Rose Allen. Christian Lee Almanvati. Abby Ellen Diana Argent. Chantel Margaret Asante. Benjamin Donald Stephen Austin. Cassandra Avram. Edward Robert Eilott. Charlotte Louise Bailey. Grace Ann Bailey. Georgie Marie Bain. Joseph David Thomas Barrett. Alex Robert Jack Barnard. Cassandra Jenna Barnard. Olivia Barr. Eleanor Mary Barrell. Benjamin Alexander Barrett. Thomas James Barry. Kai Maxim Beck. India Beer. Akifa Begum. Madeline Jean Bell. Toby Andrew S. Bell. Nicole Grace Edith Bendon. Joseph Matthew Berwick. Max Christopher Bicker. Amy Jane Elizabeth Black. Ashanti Tanita Casmin Bloomfield. Shannon Maria Olympia Baccaro. Georgia Ella Bonfield. Nomami Bora. River John Borromeo. Jake William Bott. Joshua Michael Brackenbury. Billy Bryan. Matthew Sergio Brączewski. Oliver William Edward Brooks. Oliver Henry Brosey. Charlotte Brown. Marisa Jane Alice Brown. Federico Bucchi. Kezia Francis Buckley. Molly Louise Burgess. Keenan Robert Benjamin Burr. Gabriella Bastoni. Bethan Amy Cargill. Oliver James Carnell. Megan Lily Casserole. Sabrina Cow. Chloe Louise Chapman. Oliver Chapman. Georgina Chowdhury. Samir Chowdhury. Maria Chugtai. William George Clark. Jamie Lewis Clark. Eleanor Rachel Clayton. Kelsey Andrew Bruce Connolly. Madiba Samira Conte. Amy Francis Cooper. Senan Rose Cork. Luke Richard Paul Cornelius. Amber Maybelline Craig. Nicole Lily Crichton. Matthew James Crook. Alexander James Cross. Arlo Nickerjack Brocklehurst Curry. Sydney Lee Curtis. Anna Dolores Dale. River Trine Daniel. Imogen Darby. Amy Catherine Blake Davis. Emeris Tudor Davis. Gemma Jacqueline Davis. Jack Allen Davis. Joshua Day. Ninon Sophie Marie de Velaine. Marie Francis Dean. Isabel Claire Deeby. Chimara Brooks Duggar. Tao Din. Gemma Downing. Jessica Sari Daisy Earls. Joseph Anthony Edwards. Benjamin Echo Kobe. Fatima Moralake Elabide. Mariella Ennis. Rhys James Evans. Nicola Jane Everett. Irina Gabriella Farrant. Sky Jasmine Chelsea Fitzpatrick. William Lewis Forward. Junaid Fox. Edward Harvey France. Esme Alice Fraser. Alexander Ray Friend. Alex James Freem. Erin Elizabeth Frost. Taylor Furness. Yayan Gareth Jones Gale. James Edward Wiley Geddes. Paige Elizabeth Gladstone. Fabienne Gladwin. Silvana Gochi. Emily Claire Gooding. Adam Robert Goodwin. Daniel Lee Granger. Robin Louise Grant. Rhianne Elsie Graves. Megan Emma Griffiths. Lucy Jane Moishoy Gwither. Benjamin Richard Hammond. Bethan Mary Grace Harmon. Alexander Harris. Nicholas Theo Harris. May Georgina Harrison. Elia Caprice Harry. Anna Amelia Hart. Thomas Anthony Harvey. Charlotte Ann Hatherley. Cassia Helena Hayward Fitch. Georgia Ray Heath. Yara N.M. Halal. Simon Hewitt. Robert James Hockley. Ben Robert Hodgson. James Joseph Hodgson. Sophie Alexandra Hodgson. Ava Ellen Hodgson Ham. Morgan Frank Holmes. Ben Henry Hoogstraten. Molly Hope. Eleanor Bethany Hopper. Hugo Maximilian Neil Howcroft. Benjamin Iodeji Howitt. Matthew Christopher Hudson. Anna Marie Hughes. Leona Hughes. Madeline Joyce Hughes. Shanice Hussain. Brooke Lauren Huxter. Opera Mariam Igabor. Canon Ikehata. Rebecca Louise Ingram. Violetta Hristova Ivanova. Nicola Jacobs. Oliver Janarke. Alicia Hannah James Souch. Callum James Jenkinson. Amy Johns. Gursimran Kaur. Anit Seda Kem. Rory Joseph Kenyon. Matthew Sean Kerr. Shabano Khan. Charlotte Elizabeth Kite. Victoria Alice Lansfield. Grace Natalie Laverick Smith. Joseph James Lawrence. Elizabeth Mary Lee. Andrew Simon James Lemonides. Anne Ella Johanna Lindberg. Joshua Thomas Linton.
I now call upon the public orator, Professor Dan Lloyd, to present Stephanie Hope Flanders for the award of an honorary degree.
Most Honourable Chancellor, graduates, graduands, colleagues, families and friends. When Stephanie Flanders was asked in an interview what she considers to be her proudest achievement, she replied, "Apart from my children, I feel a sense of achievement when I'm able to make a complicated thing intelligible." In recent years, as the UK has grappled with the consequences of the deepest UK recession since the Second World War, Stephanie has been admired for her careful, balanced, and accessible explanation of the complex relationships underpinning the global financial crisis. Inspired by her A-level economics teacher, Anita Griggs, Stephanie studied philosophy, politics, and economics at Balliol College, Oxford, graduating with first-class honours. She was awarded a Kennedy Scholarship to complete a Master's in Public Administration at the Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University, an experience that gave her both academic and practical insights into the economic issues of the early 1990s. Before joining the BBC in 2002, Stephanie held a number of roles across the Atlantic as an economist at the London Business School and the Institute for Fiscal Studies, as a journalist at the Financial Times and New York Times, and in policy development in President Bill Clinton's administration, where she was senior advisor and speechwriter to the US Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. In a turbulent economic period that encompassed financial crises in Asia and other emerging markets, Stephanie advised on economic policies, and as speechwriter, her carefully crafted messages helped to shape policy development, integral to their wider support from other parts of the US administration and legislature. Stephanie began her career at the BBC as Newsnight's economics editor. With her rigorous, authoritative, but accessible reporting, it was a role she made her own. A keen cyclist, she toured the UK in an episode of Panorama and analysed regional perspectives on the UK economy, all while riding her own bicycle. And as the early warning signs of the economic downturn began to emerge, Stephanie's incisive Newsnight reports covered turbulence on global financial markets and the Northern Rock crisis. Her award-winning blog, Stephanomics, explored some of these issues in greater depth and for a wider international audience. It later became a popular Radio 4 programme and continues as a Bloomberg podcast. Stephanie's appointment to the role of BBC Economics editor in 2008 was widely celebrated. A female senior BBC News editor among exclusively male counterparts, and an exceptional communicator. When Lehman Brothers collapsed in September that year and the scale of the banking crisis came into focus, Stephanie was on maternity leave after the birth of her second child. But when she returned in January 2009, it was the same week that the UK entered recession, the point at which the story was moving on from the banks to the broader economy and how ordinary people were being affected. So, the focus of her reporting was to explore and explain the unfathomable scale and complexity of the economic crisis for a bewildered UK public, many of whom were struggling with very real and wide-ranging personal consequences of the economic downturn. As one commentator put it concisely, she appeared and held our hand as we staggered into recession. In the turbulent months that followed, Stephanie's crystal clear explanation and analysis of previously obscure economic principles became prime-time viewing. She said herself, "I never thought I'd be explaining quantitative easing to 6 million people on the 6 o'clock news." But it was a relentless news cycle, often starting daily at 7 a.m. with the Today programme and ending after the 10 o'clock news, juggling all this while also raising a young family. So it was probably a relief that when the MP expenses scandal broke that May, the UK took a break from its deep consideration of quantitative easing, temporarily more interested in duck houses, moat cleaning, and chocolate Santas. Stephanie grew up in a family environment with a love of language and an appreciation of the power of words. Her mother was a successful disability rights campaigner. Her father, one half of the duo, Flanders and Swan, who combined comedy and satire in their musical performances. She drew on this formative background, as well as her early mentors, Larry Summers and Martin Wolf from the Financial Times, whose approach was always to follow an argument wherever the evidence led. Still, reporting the complexity and nuance of economic issues, balancing the enormous scale of the crisis and recovery strategy against the immediate and very tangible individual stories of those affected, is challenging in a 2-minute news report, especially so in the politically loaded area of economics and in the context of the BBC public service remit for impartiality. So on leaving the BBC in 2013 for JP Morgan, she joked in her blog that as well as the welcome challenge of helping to grow a business, she could finally have an opinion. Or at least, she wrote, if I can remember how, after 11 years at the BBC of trying to avoid them. 4 years later, she joined Bloomberg, her current role, leading a team of economists and journalists and combining powerful economic analysis with her love of reporting. On leaving her role at JP Morgan, she said, "I've learned a huge amount, but I've always wanted not just to understand the global economy, but to explain it to others." And as we know already, making a complicated thing intelligible is one of Stephanie's proudest achievements. Most Honourable Chancellor, to you and to the whole university, I present Stephanie Hope Flanders to be admitted to the degree of Doctor of Science, Social Sciences, honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority committed to me, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Science, Social Sciences, honoris causa.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for your accuracy to facts. You mentioned there quite an important detail if we're thinking about lessons in life. You pointed out that although I became BBC Economics editor just a few months before the biggest global financial crisis for maybe 100 years or more. I wasn't actually there when it happened. In fact, but I did have a good reason, and the good reason is sitting here today, Claudia with her brother Stanley. So I guess that's one lesson I'd have to tell you, those graduating, that some things are more important than work. And actually, when you've missed that key opportunity, that key interview, that crucial meeting, it usually isn't the end of the world, even when you think you've completely blown it. If you had a good enough reason, you will probably get another opportunity. And it's very true. I was trying to think, we don't have economists graduating today, which I think is probably a good thing. I won't be able to go down the economics route too much with these quick remarks. But I was thinking, what are the useful things from economics that I've taken through life? And I had a few of them. I had just 3 that I thought I'd share with you very briefly. I think the first is to be very wary of averages. I mean, obviously, we should all be pretty suspicious of most statistics. Not distrust them all, but at least be suspicious of them. But I think the average is particularly deadly. It hides a lot. Just ask the economist who drowned recently trying to cross a river with an average depth of 1 foot. When I was doing stories for the 10 o'clock news trying to explain economics, we usually had to talk about something exciting like GDP or inflation, and I'd send the producer out to find Mr. or Mrs. Average, who was going to help us tell this headline story about inflation or GDP. And it was always very frustrating because you just couldn't find them. They would come back and they'd say, well, I'm afraid their wages are going up, not down. They have just recently got a job, but it's not in Scotland, it's in Wales. And I would say, well, what are we going to do? But actually, annoying though it was, when we did find the time, or when I took the time, to seek out the people or the places that were different from the average and ask them why or how, those were some of the most interesting people I met and the most interesting stories I did. A second lesson, which has a fancy economic term, but I think certainly the historians graduating today will understand, is not to mistake the cycle for the trend. Now, in plain language, that means don't expect the good times to last forever. Politicians do this. Chancellors of the Exchequer particularly do this when the tax revenues are coming in. People buying houses when house prices are going up tend to do this. Even Isaac Newton did this, investing in the South Sea bubble, the first big financial bubble. He lost a lot of money. So even the inventor of gravity sometimes forgot that what goes up must come down. And if he forgot, then we should all be very careful not to mistake the cycle of the trend. The good times won't carry on forever, but I should say, in this day and age, we should remember the bad times won't carry on forever either. I bet you've had lots of people telling you, people of a certain age probably telling you how sorry they feel for you graduating in this awful world. And that's very nice of them, but I think you shouldn't listen to them. You should think, especially the historians, you know it could be worse, in fact has been worse many times in history. You should go out there and be optimistic and think of all the amazing things that are happening and all the amazing things that you could do. Which brings me to probably the most important lesson, which is that sometimes everyone is wrong. You are going to find yourself in rooms, indeed in worlds, in countries, where you decide that everyone else is just wrong. And on those occasions, I think you should be polite, but it's okay to say, I think you're wrong, and here's why. In fact, I think with this great degree and this great education, it's probably your duty, if you think everyone's wrong, to tell them why and try and change their minds. Because if you look through history, if you look at all of the important economic and social improvements we've had in this country and around the world, it always started with a crazy idea and people in a room saying, I think that's wrong. So I hope, and I know, in fact, that there'll be lots of crazy ideas graduating today. I hope in your lives you will have at least one room full of people that you tell are wrong, and that you take at least one of those crazy ideas and you go change this world. Thank you very much.
I now resume the presentation of candidates from the Faculty of Humanities. Georgia Lockyer. Marco Alexander Long. Charlotte Patricia Lotter. James William. Katie Rebecca Loudon. Amy Elizabeth Lynn. Sophia Rose Macias. Priyesh Magindan. Angus John Jeremiah Mallet. Lorna Rose Maltman. Francesca Nicola Amaret Mamato. Claudia Eve Mantle. Jagjit Kaur Maris. John Peter Marston. James Nicholas Martin. Marianne Daisy Addott Martin. Mary Martin. Matthew Declan George Martin. Tejumade Akilo Alawase Martins. Bethany Rose Mason. Joshua Andrew Matthews. Jacob Connor James Maynard. Conchita Kose Bayambo. Coral McCarthy Somerville. Lydia Alice McCutcheon. Anna Molly McGee. Fraser Thomas McIntyre. Lucy Rachel McMullen. Tyler McNichol. Alexandra McRobbie. Ellen Alexandra Mead. Shivani Mehta. Maxine Francesca Mixner. Zoe Anastasia Malabakini Aki. Jake Metcalf. Zoe Louise Millership. Rebecca May Milsom. Annabelle Mitchell. Jessica Pauline Mitchell. Barangjer Lodmilla Mongis. Oliver James Hunter Moore. Masay Maravcevic. Chloe Louise Molden. Florence Nicola Moyes. Harry Ralph Moyes. Holly Natasha Mullin. Jack Edward Munns. Maximilian Alexander Helmut Neal. Katie Louise Neeson. David George Newman. Corbin William Neeland. Mayfield Rovimbo Gondonga. Emily Nicholson. Angus Hugh Brian Nisbet. Rebecca Lillian Amy Noble. Lauren Emily Noon. Isaac Henry Norman. Rebecca Louise Norris. Max Francis Nunn. Matthew Thomas Nuttall. Alicia Christina Rosanna O'Malley. Niall John O'Shea. Adam O'Sullivan. Adam Owuse Boateng. Sarah Louise Palmer. Rosie Sophia Parry Thompson. Alice Mary Parsons. Amar Ushakant Patel. Roshan Patel. Chelan Ebru Pai Tonjula. Marcus Stewart Percival. Eleanor Bethan Phillips. Lydia Josephine Pilling. James Andrew Pillow. King Him Adrian Pock. Kashmira Poona. Iona Alexandra Popescu. Gemma Rose Pring. Aaron Scott Pugh. Rachel Elizabeth Pullen. Daniel Lewis Quirk. Bethany Victoria Reardon. Levi Hayden Riley. Max David Rimmer. Beck Bellamy Roberts. Eleanor Marie Roberts. Martha Emily May Robertson. Benjamin Alexander Ross. Katie Emma Russell. Abid Sajed. Rook Elliott Sargent. Francesca Louise Saywood Reed. Olivia Thomas Chopin. Natalie Jane Selby. Emily Senior. Christopher Jack Sharrock. Dimitria Shashkikanth. Charles Eddie Shaw. Maria Fernanda Shamisaka Roldan. Joseph Charles Simmons. Thomas Adam Slack. Millie Victoria Hall Smith. Peter James Smith. Isabel May Spurway. Lola Star Stalker. Joshua James Sterling. Thornton Thomas Stephen Strong. Mary Ann Sullivan. Melena Deeren Tank. Charles Joshua Taylor. Joshua Henry Giles Taylor. Iago Caradoc Thomas. Katie Tegan Jane Thomas. Shani Gloria Lola Thomas. Alice Jane Tomlinson. Sam Lewis Tuhill. Si Yao Chong. Phoebe Vahe. Nathan David von Fraunhofer. Rebecca Wadsworth. Tia Lauren Wall. Joseph Luke Waller. Kim Walsh. Cameron Anthony Jack Ward. Catherine Joy Lockie Ward. Mia Alice Ward. Patrick George Ward. Victoria Elizabeth Ward. Lucy Alice Roshan Waring. Sean Webb. Finn Weldon. Charlotte Tilly Wells. Ella Louise West. Joshua Darrell West. Ellen Josephine Weston. Hannah Jane Wetton. Nicola Caroline Wheeler. James Robert White. Katie Rose White. Thomas Jeffrey White. Adam William Whitehead. Emily Jane Wickens. Daniel Owen Williams. George Robert Charles Young. Megan Rebecca Young. James William Love. Most Honourable Chancellor, to you and to the whole University, I present this candidate from the Faculty of Sciences found worthy to be admitted to degree. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours, Caitlin Jane Barnard. For the degree of Master of Arts, Daniel Jack Gordon Avery. Elise Foster. Laura Haverman. Satami Mahara. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Raya Saeed Al-Radadi. For the thesis, Munif Cities of Salt as Counter-Narrative, Capitalism, Ideology and Transformation. Lucas Alexander Balding. For the thesis, Margaret Atwood, Speculative Fiction and Virtue Ethics. Catherine Elizabeth Mary Byrne. For the thesis, Identity, Memory and Popular Politics in 16th Century Kent. Alexander Drakosh. For the thesis, The Nameless, a Novel. Raquel Garcia Cuevas Garcia. For the thesis, Suspended Transitions, the Liminal Stage in the Brontes Novels. Charlotte Amy Geeta. For the thesis, Former Young Poet, a Novel. John Mark Grussenmeyer. Cardinal Kemp, for the thesis, Cardinal Kemp, the Last Lancastrian Statesman. Tamara Niall Haddad. For the thesis, Site-Specific Performance and the Fictive Localities of the York Corpus Christi Play. Hannah Huxley. For the thesis, Harlem Reverberations, Sonic Landscapes and the Aesthetics of Sound in African American Literature, 1910 to 1940. Sarat Chandra Jaka. For the thesis, Fictive Possessions, English Utopian Writing and the Colonial Promotion of Madagascar as the Greatest Island in the World, 1640 to 1668. Peter Michael Keeling. For the thesis, British Liberal Internationalism in Retreat, the Channel Tunnel Controversy and the Naval Defence Act, 1880 to 1894. Sophie Kelly. For the thesis Imagining the Unimaginable, the iconography of the Trinity in England, circa 1000 to 1300. Alexandra Sylvia Kochish. For the thesis, The Functions of Text in Printed Images, Text and Image in Reproductive Prints by Hieronymus Koch, Antonio Salamanca and Antonio Lafreri. Amy Lilwall. For the thesis, The Biggerers. Robert William Donald Newman. For the thesis, Establishing and Managing the British Empire's Forestry Effort During the First World War. Adam Rolovich. For the thesis, Networks and Actors, Foreign Office Attitudes Towards European Integration, 1957 to 73. May Al-Sahib. For the thesis, From the Individual to the Collective in the Writings of Radwa Ashur and Adaf Suef. Emily Kang Ning Teo. For the thesis, A Comparative History of Travel, Late Ming and Early Modern Travel Writers in China, 1550 to 1644. The following candidates have requested that they be admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in absentia: Divya, Yasmin Sahin, Daniel Christopher Devry Smith, Jonathan Walker.
I now call upon the President of Kent Union, Sasha Langeveld, to say a few words on behalf of the staff and the students at the University of Kent.
Thank you, Chancellor. Congratulations to the class of 2019. You should all be very proud of yourself. You have achieved something others could only dream of. This is your day. It might have been hard, but those long nights were not for nothing. You did it. You've made friends that have turned into family, and looking back at your journey, you have developed into a person you never thought you could be. Each of you are inspirational. You have changed the world even if you do not know it. You have more impact than you think, and everything that you have done at university has changed at least one person's life. So take pride in knowing that you are extremely important to those around you. In my first year of university, I had my first ever panic attack. 3 years later, I graduated and started my new job as your Vice President Student Activities of Kent Union. I then had my second and third in the summer of 2018. The reality is that although I might seem as a confident person, I too suffer from anxiety. You're probably wondering, why am I sharing this with you? But I want to tell you to take care of your mental health. Learning to be kind to yourself might be the hardest lesson to bear. There is an immense amount of pressure put onto graduates to find the perfect job or to know exactly what you're supposed to do, after graduation, but that is okay. The reality is that this isn't for some of you, and that is okay too. Keep pushing and remember that Van Gogh never created a masterpiece overnight. Your journey and adventure does not stop here. In high school, my teachers would call me lazy and at times stupid. They never thought that I would get into university nor make something out of my life. And who could have blamed them when I got an E in the one subject I wanted to study at university level? It was clear to me that I struggled academically, but nobody would help me. I started to doubt my ability, but this did not stop me. I didn't subscribe to the future they believed was for me. Instead, I created my own destiny. With my own motivation and determination that same year, I was able to retake my exams, turning my E into an A and receiving my place at the University of Kent through clearing. When I got to university, I knew something was still wrong with me. Even though I tried my hardest and never gave up, I was still struggling. That year, with the help of the university, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, a learning disability at the age of 18. What I learned from this experience would stay with me forever, because admitting that you need help and support is a great strength, because within vulnerability there is so much power. See, when some of my high school teachers and classmates saw failure, I saw a bump in the road and an opportunity to do better. I have learned to love failure, and believe me, it has been a long and hard journey. But by embracing the lessons from it, I have been able to achieve my greatest achievements. I am now not only a graduate with a philosophy BA, but I am also the first ever Black woman to be elected as your Students' Union president, which is one of the largest charities in the UK. Which is one of the largest charities in the UK with the annual income of £13 million, and to me that is amazing. Never in my life did I ever imagine I could have such great capabilities. People often ask me, what would I like to be? What would I like to become, and the career I aspire for myself? And the answer to what I think is an unanswerable question, regardless of the year, remains the same. I do not know. I do not know what the future holds for me, but I know that I cannot simply do nothing. So with that in mind, I take every opportunity available to me, and I don't just walk into the unknown, I run, with my head held high, stepping outside of my comfort zone without looking back. I know that one day, if not now, I will change the world. Being a Black woman and president of Kent Union, I want Black, Asian, and minority ethnic students to strive to be at the top. I want you to fill spaces you don't think you belong in, because every day we push the status quo, we are changing the world. You are a small piece of a larger puzzle, and without you, we would not be whole. The truth is, you can do whatever you dream of, and if people are not questioning your ability to achieve them, you are not dreaming big enough. Just remember that the possible is deemed impossible by those who believe change cannot happen. And I know for a fact, change happens every day. So lift your head high and run into the unknown. For all you know, it is exactly what you have been waiting for. Because by loving someone gives you courage, but by loving yourself makes you unstoppable. So once again, congratulations, and give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. Will all those receiving degrees and certificates today now please stand? This has been an occasion of great celebration of your achievements, and of course we wish the best to each and every one of you. But throughout this ceremony, you've been roundly applauded by those who are here to support you. It's your turn. Please, will you applaud them in return? Do you know, that's incredibly feeble. Please do it properly. Come on. Thank you. That's better. Now, I know that some of you are continuing with further studies here, but both you and those leaving will always be welcome to return to the university. We've one of the most extensive and lively alumni associations of anywhere in the United Kingdom, and I hope you'll join it and be active in it. Finally, may I thank every one of you for coming here today and wish you all a safe journey home. I declare this congregation closed.